Well, hello, everybody. I am so excited to be starting out this PJ Happy Mindset Coach presents Manifesting the Law of Attraction. I am here with Pappy, who we are spotlighting here on video. And this is brought to you by um, DiNuzzo Private Wealth, Inc. This is part of DiNuzzo Private Wealth's Give a Fish, Teach to Fish, Delivering Hope, Paying It Forward, Self-Improvement and Personal Development, Charitable Community Outreach Initiative. This is funded, supported, and founded by DiNuzzo Private Wealth. So thanks everyone who is able to join us live. For those who aren't, we're excited to be able to share this message with you wherever you are, whenever you're listening. If you can, please book Papi to speak in person or virtually to your organization or nonprofit group that needs to hear the universe's message of hope and inspiration. You can do so by emailing us at support@pjmindsetcoach.com. If you're new to PJ Mindset Coach, please be sure you're signed up on pjmindsetcoach.com to receive Pappy's free educational emails and get access to upcoming live events conducted by Pappy to help you manifest the health, wealth, happiness, love life, and success you desire. One note, we have also created a Spanish version of the book, Spanish translation on the website, and even Spanish social media sites. So if you have connections to anyone in the Spanish or Latin community, we can help in their native language. So as we get started today, we're going to welcome PJ, Pappy here, and Sandy B to get us started.
Yeah, Nick, good afternoon to you and the entire audience. Good afternoon, Sandy B. How are you doing?
I have you, Pappy, I'm not hearing you. I don't know if that's just me.
Dude, I can hear
That
you.
is just me, I'm sure.
I can hear.
Okay. Are you guys good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Sandy, thank you so much. A wonderful co-host that I have. I couldn't be blessed with two better co-hosts than Nick and Sandy B. So thank you so much, Sandy. Wonderful seeing you.
Good to see you.
All right, so Sandy, I think you're leading us off here to introduce our setting the table session or portion of today's session.
Yes, so thank you, Pappy, for having me here today. Let's get set and set the table. So tell us a little more about what we're talking about today.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy. Yeah, I love to just do set the table. And people say to me all the time, Sandy, hey, Pappy, how come, I've heard you say that so many times, you okay, you're repeating yourself. And I tell everyone the rule of thumb is the more you hear me say something, if it sounds like I'm repeating myself, that's how important it is. So that's just the rule of thumb. And a lot of this is your paradigm has been programmed over your entire life. And a lot of adults, even we talk about when we're younger, a lot of adults are leaving their paradigm completely wide open. So a big part of this, for you to be able to manifest anything you can imagine, is really reprogramming yourself. So I just like to give a couple reminders at the beginning. When I talk about universal intelligence, universal subconscious mind, source power, source energy, the creator, I never ever offer a suggestion to you on that. I don't promulgate anything. You know who you believe the creator of the universe to be, source power and source energy. What you believe that to be, that's the truth, and that is the name that you plug in when I'm discussing that. So just want to make sure that's clear. A couple of reminders. I like to start off with just thanking everyone for being on. I say namaste. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you. Literally, the spirit in me greets the spirit in you for every one of our listeners, everyone who's listening in today. And I'm just so happy, grateful now that today is a magnificent day. Today's truly a glorious day. And all of you, I'm so happy, grateful now that I, along with Sandy and Nick and all of you and all who are listening to this, have created your masterpiece today. So congratulations on creating a masterpiece today for yourself and for the universe. As a reminder, We live in a thought world within a perfect and infinite thought universe. That's how we communicate. That's how your goals and desires are manifested. You're an eternal spiritual being living in a physical 3D body. So your spiritual spark is perfect. Your spirit is perfect. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. Again, you'll hear me say, until you get to the point where you're fine to manifest anything you can imagine, I recommend at least reading one page of my book every day. Once you get that down, then you're off to the races. But read whenever you wake up or before you go to sleep, or whenever works out for you the course of the day. But to read at least one page every day, because we're chopping down that paradigm. We're reinventing yourself. I'm working with you to reinvent yourself to a 10x version of yourself. And then Sandy and Nick, one thing I was excited about was, we're in the last probably 30 days, I've had folks reach out and had communications with folks in one shape or form or another, Kenya, Africa, Nigeria, the Honduras, Mexico, Cuba, the Philippines, in Europe. And there is a wonderful woman that I met from Kenya. She's around 4 hours outside of Nairobi, Kenya. And I have had a wonderful relationship with her brother who's here in the States. I just approached him because my universal subconscious mind told me to, and I met him. And he's introduced me to his sister, as well as his former teacher in high school when he was growing up. And I appreciate that, Titus, from the bottom of my heart, my fellow brother. Thank you so much for that introduction. And we had sent some books out. Suzanne sent some books out to Bridget. And again, she is a native of outside of Nairobi, Kenya. And she made a little video clip that she sent in. And I just wanted to share this, Nick and Sandy B, with our audience. It was so touching. And I would just say, just look, the look on her face, and she added the music and everything to this, but just the look on her face, how genuine this is. So if you can share in the
something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here, oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here, oh yeah. I'm missing money gonna find me, blessings gonna find me, oh na 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 na.
So yeah, that's just so beautiful. Thank you, Sandy B and Nick, for sharing that with the audience. And again, Bridget, just a wonderful person. Her and her brother Titus they're just such good people. And I just love them both. I love them both as a brother and sister with all my heart. So that was a wonderful, wonderful video that she shared with us. Mm-hmm. And again, it warms my heart. So thank you so much for sharing that with our entire audience.
Powerful video.
Yeah, so good. Warms your heart.
Absolutely. Well, now we get to transition into the concepts to live by portion of today's chat. And if you have not signed up, like we mentioned at the beginning, every week we send an email with 2 concepts to live by videos. There's just so much negative in the world that these give you the opportunity to have that little burst of positivity, this message that you get to listen to, 2 powerful messages each week that you can play at your convenience. But if you're not signed up for them, they will not make it to your inbox. So we're only 10 minutes into this presentation, and we've already had an opportunity to cover such important hope, such important inspiration. And now we get to really dive in with Papi discussing our concepts to live by of this week.
Sure, Nick. And the first one, Nick, what was the first one that we have we're going to look at today?
The first one today is desire.
Desire. Yes, again, remind the audience, as Nick said, there's a lot of questions. This is a little bit of a different language for a lot of folks. So we're sending out 2 concepts to live by per week to watch these. I gave a presentation last night, and I got thanked by 3 or 4 audience members. And one woman in the audience has said, Papi, I want to let you know that one you just sent out, I can't remember the name of it that she was watching, but she said, I watched that thing probably 10 times. and I got something more out of it every time. It's so helpful because I just didn't understand that concept. So again, this is a message different from the world. You know, Nick and Sandy B, I'm just so excited. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and again, the audience, if you can just believe 1%, just give me 1%, and I will ride and die. I'll go to the end with you. As long as I'm processing oxygen on planet Earth, I will help you to manifest anything you can imagine. And the most exciting thing is, you know, Sandy and Nick, the most exciting thing to me is that we are all given the greatest gift on earth, and that is free will and creative power. Every single human being has the creative power within them. I was talking with the flight attendant when I came, that I'm working for my Florida office today down in Tampa, and I was talking to the flight attendant. I gave one flight attendant one of my books, and I'll talk to you about my flight was manifested exactly the way, from the time I stepped the foot out of my house to the time I stepped the foot into my home in Tampa, exactly the whole entire thing. The two flight attendants were giddy beyond comprehension. I gave one of them the book, the other one wanted the book. It's a real long story, but she says, you see this thing you have on the back cover? She said that I deserve this. I mean, this woman was just so empowered, but like, I am worthy. I am special. I deserve this. This isn't for the elite or the rich or some billionaire. I can do this and I deserve it. So again, each of you, everyone on the workshop webinar today, you've been given the greatest gifts on earth. You've been given the gift of free will, and you've been given the gift of creative power to co-create with the universe, with universal intelligence, not nebulous universe, universal intelligence, source power to create or evolve. So the first one is desire, Nick. And this one, if you've read my book and take a look, it's one of the 15 key ingredients to manifest anything you can imagine. So you think with thoughts, and what did Albert Einstein talk about incessantly? How important our imagination is. So you're thinking up above your head, so to speak, for us humans to be able to take this in. You're using your imagination. You've got thoughts, and you come up with a want. I talk about that big circle around your head to think about with the line through the middle, the top half of the circle with a C, the bottom half with an SC for subconscious mind. And you get this want, and you bring it into your conscious mind. And if you are correct, and if it's your top want, and you want it really bad. I say, I want my want so bad, I can taste it. I can taste it. I can smell it. I can touch it. I want it so bad. And if you get it bad, and if you get it that deep and you want it that bad, you're going to push it into the bottom half, your subconscious mind, into the rich treasury of your subconscious mind. And now it's a desire. And that's what you want, because that's where the emotions come in. This universe is about thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Intentions are synonymous with your goal. Once it gets into your subconscious mind is what we're talking about here, Nick, on your question, desire. And we want your desire in your subconscious mind for you to want it so bad that it's going to be a red hot and a white hot desire. When you heat your desire up, it's going to come down through your body. Your body's an instrument of your mind. It's also your temple. The universe says it's your temple because it houses your spirit. So it's going to come down through your body, and you're going to send out from your body and from your subconscious mind vibrations. And vibrations create the language of the universe, and those are frequencies. That's how the universe communicates. So Nick, one thing about this, I don't want to go too deep, but people say all the time, it's like sort of, seems a little esoteric or woo-this, whatever, Pappy. I say, just think about, I talk to a lot of folks, and again, I keep this high and neutral. I mentioned all the countries that I've been in communication with, one way, shape, or form. There's a lot of different belief systems in. That's why I have to keep this very high at the very top of the pyramid. So just think about it's very high. This is to you what you want. But when I talk to people, Nick, prayer comes up an awful lot. Well, Pappy, so just think about the audience members. What are you doing? Because I just know from communicating with my fellow brothers and sisters, anytime I talk, and I talk to anyone in any type of group or individually, prayer comes up with them a lot. So just think about this for the audience. What are you doing when you pray? Look at my 15 key ingredients. Do you have belief? What do I say? The first two are belief and faith. Do you have belief in how this universe is set up for you, or the God source, what you believe in? And do you have faith that you're able to accomplish it? I'd argue, Nick, that you're not, if you're praying, that you have faith. You believe your prayers are going to be heard. The good news is, what the universe is, Nick, prayers must be heard. That's a rule. One of the big rules, as I talk about all the time, is you have to ask. It's all right there in front of you, but if you don't ask, you don't hit that trigger switch for it to move forward. So you have to ask. And when you're praying, you've got belief, you have faith, you've got emotions. You're putting emotions into it. Typically, when you're praying, you're not talking out loud. You're in your heart of hearts. How are you communicating that? You've got emotions involved. You're praying for something that's very important to you and your family and your loved ones, and it's a very deep emotion, and you're sending out vibrations, whether you know it or not, and those vibrations are sending out frequencies, and that is what is heard. Those frequencies, you don't even have to say a word. That is the language, is what's heard. So Nick, it's the same way desire, if someone's praying, they can take this to their own specific religious level, and that's how the message is heard. So thank you for letting me go a little bit long on that one, Nick, but that desire is just so important. So thank you.
No, I love it. I mean, we could dive deep. We could write an entire book on desire, but so so next it's probably a great segue into divine operation being the next concept to live by that I'd love for you to share a little bit about.
Yeah, divine operation and divine synchronicity, divine orchestration. And yeah, remember, whatever you're manifesting, and I don't want to get Nick too much into the details, but your prayers are heard always. Now, it's never an if, it's just a when. Your manifestations are heard. It's never an if, it's just a when. There is an asterisk that I don't want to get off topic, Nick, but if there's a karmic lesson to be learned, and we can talk about that in another show, that is the only thing. If you came and there was a karmic lesson, something that needs to be cleaned up, that can take precedence over this. But that's very rare for that to happen. But I do mention, in interest of complete honesty, that is one other one. So divine operation, there's 8 billion of us and our fellow brothers and sisters across this planet. You know, like we talked, Nick, that's a lot of TFIs. That's a lot of thoughts. That's a lot of feelings. That's a lot of intentions. And we may be manifesting what we want. We're always manifesting everything in your life you've manifested, but now we're getting smarter. We want to be on that language and proactively, we want to be pitching, not catching, like we talk about. So you need to be patient. You know, you are the center of divine operation, was the genius that the creator structured this universe with, that all of us are a center of divine operation. You put out the proper thoughts, the proper feelings and emotions, and your intentions, as in your goal or your prayer, and it will and must be heard. Now, we remember, Nick, we talk all the time, 4 out of 5 thoughts for the average human being are negative. So you have to think, what are you sending out? You're getting back in your life exactly what you sent out. It can be no other way. That's where you're at right now. So we say, Nick, we're all baking a cake, and what are we pulling out of the oven? Take a look at our lives. That's the cake we've baked. We've got perfect ingredients, perfect spiritual DNA, perfect spirit, perfect spiritual spark, but how well are you using those ingredients? That's what we're here for, and that's what I'm here to teach you and coach you, so you can manifest the living daylights out of your life. You can manifest anything you can imagine.
I love it. I love it. All right. So the last one that we have today, the last concept to live by that we're going to talk about here is efficient action. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, Nick, efficient action. That's, again, one of the top 15 key ingredients in the recipe to manifest anything you can imagine. Efficient action is on the Vega coin, and I try to hand this out anytime. I try to always keep a bunch on my person whenever I meet with anyone when I'm in a group. Of the Vega coin, VEGA, visualize with emotion your goal and take action. And that is the action, not just action, but efficient action. So you've seen the image, I think, with me before, Nick. I've shown in that top half of that circle, your conscious mind will produce 5% of what you generate in life. The bottom half, 95% of what you generate is coming from your subconscious mind. And then when your vibration goes out, you have to take action. So everything on earth is created twice. The first time in our thoughts, the second time the physical object back of it. In order for that to occur, you need to perform action, and not just action, but efficient action. And that's what I talk about. We won't go that deep today, but about your teammates, your 3 most important tasks. You do your evening review tonight, and you review your day. How did you perform? How did you act and behave and think vis-a-vis versus your 10x self, and what is your preview for tomorrow for your 3 most important tasks? You won't have more than 6. It's usually 3, maybe 4. And then you want to perform them performing them as action. You want to perform them efficiently with efficient action. That's all you need to do. You don't need to be chopping down a giant tree by hand. This is just to perform that efficient action. It could be an email, a phone call, a 5-minute conversation. This isn't, again, working 60, 70 hours a week or anything else. You'll know what it is every single time. It won't take you very long, a week or two even, and you'll say, hey, I am now seeing how I did today, and I know crystal clear what my top 3 most important tasks are for me to do tomorrow and perform them efficiently.
Awesome. So now it's time for us to talk about manifesting the law of attraction, Papi. So can you share the manifesting coaching tips with us?
Yeah, Sandy, this one, this is a great category. Thank you for bringing this one up. The thing that came through me for today's show was health. I'm on a health podcast here in a couple of hours. It's centered around food and holistic everything, but food heals. And what I'm always trying to give the audience, Sandy, when we talk about the same things an awful lot, and that is, what can I give the audience listeners if you're just brand new to this? If today's the first workshop webinar that you've listened into, how can you start to manifest? Because you are manifesting right now. So one of the quick takeaways I give you is start to manifest emotions. So when I manifested my plane flight down here, Sandy, it was 100% emotions. That's all it was. Very little visualization. I just said, how do I want to feel on my drive to the airport? And there's a lot of what can it be like even parking at the airport, right? I mean, it can be an adventure. It can be for a lot of folks. So driving, parking at the airport, getting everything into the airport, the baggage, the luggage, getting checked in. You bring a dog with you, that's a whole nother layer of things that can sort of happen. So, getting the dog checked in and all that kind of good stuff. Boarding, waiting on the plane, your seating, the entire flight, deboarding, getting here, everything I did was 100% with the emotion of each of whatever I consider to be a key moment in time, how I felt. And Sandy, I felt exactly the same way that I manifested ahead of time on those 6 or 7 or 8 key points of inflection, how I wanted to feel at that point in time. Because all those, my former self had challenges with those. My former self, I think the audience knows I'm half Italian, but Italians can be a little mercurial, so to speak. And I had a lot more of that in me previously, so to speak, in my life. But it's now, hey, I'm in 100% control. It's not like, I can't control my emotions. I'm Italian. It's just got to be like Mount Vesuvius or something. No, it's like I manifested every one of those feelings throughout the entire thing. So one other easy one I'm going to give them, Sandy, before I get this one is, before you go to sleep every night, this is the easiest and freest one in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Ask your subconscious mind and ask universal subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is tied into all knowledge and all power of all time. Can you please give me the answer to the most important challenge? Even if you don't know what the challenge, you just say, can you please give me an answer to the most important challenge that I'm facing in my life right now? And you can be even more specific. If it's health, if it's wealth, happiness, love, relationship, family members, what have you, but ask the universe that. You can start to do that manifestation immediately. This can be your first show. Reach out tonight. The universe, in the majority of the supermajority cases, is going to give this to you, and maybe in symbolic form sometime. Pay attention. They do an awful lot with technology. When you're Googling, you're searching, whatever else it is, watch what's put in front of you. As I said, they did it forever through nature. We human beings are not that sensitive to what's around us now in nature. So a lot more is related to technology. But the big one leading up to, Sandy, is with our health. And I'll try to start at the big picture and drill down. You have to trust me. And again, just give me 1%, just 1%. I love every person who's on this show. I want to help you so bad. You can't even imagine how bad I want to help you. That your body must, as a rule, as a universal law, listen to your mind. I'll say again, your body, as a universal rule, a universal law, must listen to your mind. And the universe says that's because your body is a temple, and your temple houses your spirit. The universe, there is no more important thing on earth than your pure spiritual spark, your perfect spiritual spark that's inside of you. And it's your body's job to house that as a temple and to listen to your mind. So just start it's you know, Sandy, because I even get caught up in things. Everybody's human. I'm certainly even maybe more human than the average person out there. So, you know, there was even times when like I know this stuff. I always start to say, hey, you know what? As I get older, I don't process carbs as well as I used to. And I mean, I'm like, Pappy, I can't even imagine. I'm talking to myself in my head. I can't. Why were you telling me? What are you doing? And I wasn't processing carbs very well at all when I was telling myself. So you just start to whatever it is. Again, you're going to the dentist, you're going to the doctor, you have a nagging ache or pain or something. You're just be like, oh, I got that lower back thing. Oh, everybody in my family's got that. That's just the way it is. Oh, I just turned a certain age and all my friends I know are having this challenge health-wise. That's just the way it is. Never, ever, ever, whatever you suggest, which when we do it to ourselves, self-talk, it's called an auto-suggestion. Suggestions from ourselves to ourselves.
Yeah.
Never ever offer a negative auto-suggestion. What you tell you tell your body, it must, unless it's involved in a rare case with a karmic lesson of some type, it has to take action. And you will be surprised, and after a while you won't. Just pick some small little ailments or things that are nagging you to start working on, and you will start to see that you can literally improve your health and self-heal in the majority, super majority of cases, whatever is nagging you from a health perspective. So what do you think, Sandy? I went a little longer. What do you think about the health? Some other thoughts there?
Well, that's powerful stuff. I just wrote down, never offer yourself negative auto-suggestion.
Yeah, and just think, Sandy, you know, when we have those 4 out of 5 negative thoughts throughout the course of the day, and then, you know, research has proven up to 60,000 thoughts per day, but 80%, so even if it's 30,000 a day, whatever that number is, 80% are negative. Do not shoot yourself in the foot. Don't give away a free lunch. Don't miss out. You control this. You have more power. The universe is set up for us beyond your wildest expectation. However well you think it's set up for you, multiply that. When my kids were smaller, they use words like a gazillion. Multiply that by a gazillion, how much the universe loves you and wants you to succeed. And also multiply by a gazillion how much ability and power you think you have. You have a gazillion times more power than you think you have. You can truly manifest anything you can imagine, and you can start on the road to self-healing yourself with the majority to super majority of whatever your challenge health-wise may be. But Sandy, that was a great point. I'm glad that came through on the auto suggestions. Yes. That is the most important one, because although our subconscious mind, Sandy, from what you were just thinking is it has to take action on any suggestion that we hear, news, family, parents, internet, whatever it may be, music, it is especially sensitive to its leader, its ruler, its boss, every person on this call taking action on that. So yeah, and I love to hear success stories when I talk to folks. So share those with us whenever you have success on these fronts. Nick, I know we said that before, a story for another day, but I'm positive with your healing that occurred with your hips, that a huge part of that was, I mean, you were told, hey, brother, you're done. You know, I mean, this is you're on the road to a lot of things that we don't want to mention are negative, and you are completely defying all empirical medical research and everything else with what you've done in self-healing yourself with your hips.
Absolutely. My favorite quote is when the doctor said, it looks like they're spontaneously resolving without intervention. And I just smiled.
Wait, please, I would love to repeat. Will you give us that phrase again?
Spontaneously resolving without intervention.
That's called manifesting for the audience. In our speaking, that's called manifesting. Yes, yeah, that's what our medical field say. Oh, spontaneously. Yeah, that's manifesting. Yeah, it's just
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, before we transition into the next the affirmation section, I thought it would be fun to share the Jennifer Aniston clip that you had brought up in our meeting before.
Yeah, this came up with a client that I was communicating with, that I was teaching. And we're just talking about, just take a look at, you know, whatever you come across. And this was Jennifer Aniston, who's a famous star. I think most of our audience will recognize her. It's a very short little interview she had with Drew Barrymore. And just listen to a couple of key words, and then we'll come back to it. Thank you, Nick.
Do you believe that you do manifest things?
Yes.
Like one is capable of manifesting?
I've been told to manifest whatever it is that you are wanting to manifest. You speak to it as though it's already happened.
Okay, I like that.
So thank you for this wonderful job that I have dreamed about and prayed for, and with this glorious crew and a joyful experience. Thank you for that.
Well, there you go, Nick. I mean, how many times has the audience heard me say, you speak to it? That's called an auto-suggestion. I mean, you know, mine's a fancy word, but ever since Napoleon Hill and the sort of forefathers of this and foremothers came up with some of this language, so we call it an auto-suggestion, but she's saying, speak to it. And then how do we speak? We speak in the present tense, like as of today, it's already happened. Today, I have this car. I've got this new purse. I got an A on my test. I've got the relationship that I want with a loved one or a family, whatever it is. That's what she said. And the same thing you've heard me say a million times. You speak as though it's already happened. And then she said to give thanks for it. And then the last 3 or 4 things she said were pure gratitude. It was gratitude, gratitude, and more gratitude. And again, gratitude falls under the same rules. You have to ask, and it's a form of asking, but it's in gratitude. It's a statement. And what you give gratitude for, the universe says that in a tie for the #1 universal law, so how powerful is this? In a tie for the #1 universal law is as above, so below. The universe says what you send us, and again, you know how you define universal intelligence, universal conscious mind, the creator of all. That's your definition. Your definition at the highest point of what we're talking about says what you send me, I must and will send back. You send back 4 out of 5 negatives, you're going to get back 4 out of 5 negatives. You send me back something at the highest level, I'm sending you back something at the highest level. So you've got the power inside. You have the creative power, which there is no other greater power in the universe. And your creative power says your spiritual DNA and spiritual spark are perfect. It's the same spiritual DNA as source power. And at the very top of the pyramid, what we're talking about, how you define it yourself, is dying to, looking to, excited to co-create. What it's called is co-creating, because you're taking yourself and all this power, you're taking your faith and this belief in the universe, how it's structured, and bringing it together. And that's where the co-creation magic takes place for you to create. So as you listen to these folks, Lady Gaga, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey, over and over and over, Jim Carrey, listen to them. I mean, because you're not going to get to, on average, $100 million net worth just by swinging a sledgehammer, like I talk about my grandma in the stone quarries of Italy. Ain't gonna happen. Not like a regular job, not punching in, punching. You access this higher power, and that's how you start adding zeros and start adding a lot of zeros after. Let the universe do it through your subconscious mind. But that one I just thought resonated so much because Jennifer Aniston, in a very short clip, she mentioned 4 or 5 topics that we're talking about on a regular basis. So I thank everyone for pulling that clip together.
Yeah, and really at the end, you just substitute for her thank you for the job, this job that I have, that she was demonstrating with her manifestation, how you say it in the presence. That brings us, like you said, she's expressing thanks, all gratitude. That brings us right to talking about affirmations and the affirmation that you wanted to share today, that you're so happy and grateful now that you have an amazing attitude. It keeps getting stronger and stronger every single day.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I'm going to finish one more with Sandy, if that's okay, Sandy, because that got me one more thing. You got me going. So just, and again, another one. So I'm trying to give us these handy tools. We talk about a 3-3-3 affirmation. So on the writing out our goals, and we're thinking of the affirmation. So write out your goal 3 times in the morning after you wake, 3 times in the afternoon, and 3 times in the evening, ideally before you go to sleep. So I am so happy and grateful now that, and now this is, again, Nick, you had asked earlier, you said about the desire was one of our concepts to live by. So again, this is getting to your desire, because you desire and have a white hot desire for your 10x goal. It's your number one goal. We're manifesting our daily goals. We could do a lot of those through emotions, but this is your big one, your 10x one. It's for health, it's for wealth or happiness. So I just want to give the audience, Sandy, a reminder, to write these out. I am so happy and grateful now that, and write out that goal. And then it is always by or before at the end of it when you write it out. So right now we go by quarters, by the last day, which is coming up at the end of this month, the last day of this quarter. It's the last day in March, the last day in June, the last day in September, then the last day of the year, December 31st. If it doesn't happen, the next morning when you wake up, you start using the next quarter. But the universe, since the universe only communicates and thinks in the present, you can't give it an open end. You have to give it a specific date, by, like as in today, by or before a specific date, because they're like, yeah, I'm going to manifest this for you, but in human terms, we'll give it to you in 100 years. So we don't want that. We want to give them very specifics, by or before a specific date. So just want to remind the audience for that 333, writing up our goals for our number one 10x goal, 3 times in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 at night. And if you forget, just do 9 before you go to sleep at night, and always try to visualize, because you're only doing 9 here. Try to visualize every single time that goal that you're writing out, and visualize with every sense that you have. You're visualizing in a screen of your mind. If you're somewhere outside, you can smell the aromas in the air. You can hear voices, hear conversations. If you're shaking someone's hand, you can feel it. I mean, try to put as many of your human senses incorporated in that visualization as possible. The more you do, the faster track you're on. So thank you, Sandy. You had a real nice little lineup there. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Nick, I guess, again, that was a segue then, into the affirmations. Again,
Yeah.
I have a lot of affirmations in the back of my book. I'm not sure if it's 100 or how many it is. I say go back and see which ones resonate with you. But the one we were talking about here today, Nick, I am so happy and grateful now that I have an amazing attitude, and it keeps getting stronger and stronger every single day. So what do we talk about? Your mind, you're in control of this. I'm so happy and grateful now. I know in my heart of hearts, it's always only me versus me. It's everyone in the audience. It's you versus you. I'm so happy and grateful now that I know my heart of hearts that the universe never does anything to me. It only does things for me. It's only you versus you. You've got the wind in your sails to do the right thing. So what do we say? You're going to be in a creative mindset or competitive. Always be creative. Someone else does not have your stuff. Someone else does not have your stuff. You create, you can have anything you want. You can be in a mindset of abundance or scarcity. Again, someone else does not have your stuff. You can create abundance with whatever you want to. And then faith or fear, we've talked about that a lot already today. And what do those all result in, Nick? They all result in that amazing attitude we're talking about here in this, because your amazing attitude is synonymous with a high vibration, and that's what we want. We're sending out these glorious, wonderful high vibrations, and it's just like you picking up your cell phone. That's the number you're calling. Do you want to call and have someone answer on the other side a high vibration frequency you're sending out, and answer that with a high vibration response? Or do you want to dial a number that's a low vibration, low frequency, and get a low vibration? You don't want to dial that number. You don't want to dial that low number. Dial the highest number possible that you can, so that you have an amazing attitude. And it keeps getting stronger and stronger every day. And why are we doing that again? To remind the audience is this is going into your paradigm, into your subconscious mind. You're carving out all this old, excuse my French, but garbage, a lot of the stuff that was in it. It is not the real you. It's things that you heard from other people. It's family history. It's society, whatever it may be. You are the one that controls it. Dig that out. Recreate the new you, the new wonderful you, the new 10x you, the new wonderful health, wealth, and happiness you. And this is a huge part of it, is by saying your affirmations out loud. So yeah, thanks, Nick. That was a very good one. Thank you so much.
So now it's time for Ask Papi. I love this segment where we have speed questions for you, Papi. And
Okay.
so I would encourage the audience to submit their questions on the website so we can get them and share them in this segment. So I know you have one more thing to show the audience today. So the first thing I wanted to ask you about is the cover of Financial Advisor magazine this
Yes.
time year.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Good. Oh yeah, you pulled it up. Thank you, Sandy. So this is what I talk about. People are like, well, where do these, Pappy on social? This is the arguably, I'll say, arguably the #1 magazine for, again, DiNuzzo Middle Market Family Office, DiNuzzo Private Wealth, DiNuzzo Wealth Management. We're a registered investment advisory firm with the SEC in Washington, D.C. And this is one of the top magazines for advisors. Now, these are sort of the best of the best. You have your life savings with someone who's your financial advisor. This is what goes out to all of them. The Year of Living Dangerously. What is that, San? I don't know, San. That sounds maybe a little like a negative suggestion, doesn't it?
Definitely.
It's not even, is it going to be dangerous, right, Sandy? This is the year. I mean, it's like a declarative statement, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so this is what even experts, and you're all experts in your field, take a look at. You could say, I want to be educated. I'm going through continuing education. I want to read and be smarter. What is being put in front of you? The Year of Living Dangerously. Economists are trying to imagine. I mean, this is like, we can't even get our mind around these scenarios in this world that keeps defying expectations. So I don't know, Sandy, if you read into this, we're going to say cancel, reject all negative information here. We're going to cancel, reject. But it's like, I don't know, Sandy, how is this like staying afloat, so to speak? I mean, this is like defying expectations. I mean, this is all around us. And this is just an example at a very high level. This isn't like a bar conversation or something you hear a conversation in a supermarket. There's professional communication on the internet, online, conversations, workshops, seminars, continuing education, magazines, professional periodicals. And this one, we can go ahead and take it down now, but the Year of Living Dangerously, because folks ask me all the time, I'll just say, you just start paying attention to what's around you, what's coming at you. And that's just a great example of something that came across my desk not too long ago.
Yeah, pretty interesting. So our next question, how can changing your mindset change your life?
Yeah, another huge one at the top of the pyramid. And really, Sandy, I think this dovetails into really what we've been talking about today. Pretty much everything we've been talking about is changing your mindset. Pretty much everything we talked about today is changing your mindset and getting 1% better. Taking those 4 negative thoughts out of 5, let's get them down to 3. Let's change your mindset, because when you find out that your life is going to improve dramatically, when you start focusing on what you want instead of focusing on what you don't want, that is going to have the most dramatically positive effect on your mindset. You're going to be literally a completely new and 10x version of yourself.
So how exactly would I start to do that, Pappy?
Yeah, I guess. Well, yeah. These questions are great because they're right on the frequency of today's show. Is a lot of things that Sandy and I and Nick and I have been talking about today. How does changing your mindset start? We talked about a few earlier, Sandy. We were saying some of those ones just to be able to start to manifest that emotion. Start to think, how do you want to feel after a successful A or successful B or successful C, whatever these scenarios are. And you can start right there with manifesting that positive emotion. We can ask that, $1 million question, so to speak, to the universe and our subconscious mind right before we go to sleep at night. How can we do that? That's another one we can start to do. And then we talked about the affirmations and writing out our goals 3 times a day. It's sort of like I've said before, saying like playing war with a deck of cards. I mean, it's at the beginning, Sandy, you got 26 cards and I got 26. We're going back and forth. But before we just start to stack these favors. So if we can start off with, instead of 26 cards, maybe, we've got 28, and there's 24 on the other side. So we're stacking the favors on our side. So that's how we start to change our mindset. Just start today and let's get a little winning streak going. And you can start to create momentum to change your life beyond your wildest expectations.
I love that. Those are easy enough to start today, I believe.
Yes, that's what I'm excited about, I think.
So our next question, is manifestation a belief and a full embodiment concept?
Yeah, that one's getting a little bit deeper. A belief, well, it is a belief, and we believe in, one of the big questions is, and I talk about all the time, and I credit Albert Einstein, that we all need to ask ourselves, do you believe that the universe is a friendly place? Do you believe that the universe is a friendly place? And that your answer to that question is going to have a lot to do with how successful you are. If it's like, you know, Sandy, no, it's not, life sucks and I'm never going to get ahead. Well, what do we know? What we put out, as above, so below, what we put out is what we're going to get back. Our subconscious mind is saying, hey, my boss says this is how they want to roll, and this is what I'm going to do. So manifestation is what we're all doing. It's a little bit of a fancier word, but it is how you have created everything in your life. By what you've put out is what's come back to you. So it is part of what I would say in the belief in the universe, in source power, source energy, like I talk about at the top of that pyramid. You know what that is to yourself. Mm-hmm. There is a belief system, and ideally it is a full embodiment. I mean, the more invested that you are, that we are, Sandy, in this, the more invested we are, the more success we're going to have. So we want to be fully embodied. We want to be 100% all in. And the more emotionally invested you are, the more successful you're going to be.
Thank you. That was helpful. Back to you, Nick.
All right. Well, I'm excited for this part because this is something we're just adding to this. We're almost 50 minutes into our conversation, but we get to focus for a few minutes on one of the pages, one of the quotes straight out of Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. So this Papi book page focus, or this Papi quote focus, I'd love for us to focus in the preference on Roman numeral 33. So page 33 in the preference, where you talk about what you have in your subconscious mind. I don't want to spoil it from there. Did you want to lead us? Would you take a few minutes to lead us through that?
Yeah, sure, Nick. And this is the last segment I know if we have in the show. Just to reiterate to the audience, this is Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. This is out of the preface in the book. And whenever you get a chance, I remind you, watch The Secret movie. It was from the early to mid 2000s, I think 2006 approximately. I have the book here, The Secret, but go and watch the movie. And if that doesn't get you going, then maybe your level of consciousness right now, awareness that you hopefully going to get over the hump just a little bit more. And the other one we talk about all the time is Think and Grow Rich. This has sold over 100 million copies. I was unable to teach and deliver this to my fellow brothers and sisters, is why I wrote my book. I teach and coach off of every page in this, and I'm able to explain it in as plain of English as possible. And I think one of the ones we're focusing on today, Nick and Sandy, is in the preface. And it's, I think, one of the most powerful quotes attributed to me that's in the book. And I'll just share it with you. I have in my subconscious mind what I believe is the greatest gift on earth, and I call it PJ's magic lamp. And I believe you have your own magic lamp as well in your subconscious mind, and it is my purpose on earth to guide you in how to use it to manifest successfully. So yeah, I call mine PJ. I'm looking at, I see something glowing, you know, in the core of your body, Sandy. I see Sandy's magic lamp. I see Nick's glowing with a nice gold color. Nick's magic lamp. You all have this inside of you. So you all have this magic lamp. Aladdin's magic lamp only granted him 3 wishes, while mine and yours grants you unlimited wishes from and by universal intelligence. But there is one catch. This came up a couple times today already. There is one catch, though. Because the universe was created, lives in balance and harmony. You can't just have light without darkness. You can't have one without the other. You can't have a front without the back. The magic lamp that the universe has entrusted in us, is programmed to take action on both positive and negative. I can't emphasize this enough. The universe is going to take action on both positive and negative suggestions from yourself. Those are the ones we call auto-suggestions, from others, or from any other source. Learn how to use your magic lamp, the magic lamp that's inside of you, to manifest anything that you can imagine. And the last couple of words here, Nick, you hear me say a lot, and guard it with your life. Don't let anyone put anything in your head, in plain English. What's more important is your subconscious mind. Don't let anybody sell you short. Don't let anybody tell you you're not something that you can't be. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot accomplish anything you set your mind to. Don't let anybody do that. Now we'll work on your self-talk, and we will have a wait till we get 10 out of 10 right every day and 100 out of 100. But whatever you do, do not let anyone dictate the path that you're on in your life or what you are going to bring into your life. You hear it, you cancel it, you reject it, you refuse to participate. One last one I'll mention, Nick, cancel, reject, and refuse to participate. And the last one I'll mention is I talk about flip the script affirmations. Somebody will say, there's a professional golfer that I work with, and he goes out in the course. He's like, oh no, Pap, these guys, he come back, very first time I started talking and way back. And he's like, you know what? Even these professional golfers, man, they're saying like a lot of negative stuff. I just sort of like never really noticed it before. But where the pin place, the holes, I don't know anything about golf. So but where they put the hole on the tee, or the wind that day, or the rain, or the wind and the rain. And it's like, if you got somebody out there saying, man, today is going to be a bear or a mother, this and that, man, it's not going to be a good day because of the wind and the rain. If you don't cancel that or reject that, you let that go in. Your subconscious mind say, today I am going to golf below average because of this wind and this rain. So what I'm leading up to is on my I call it flip the script affirmations. When they say it's going to be a terrible day because of the wind and the rain, Sandy and Nick, what we say is, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm going to golf above average today because of the wind and the rain. Like what everybody else is saying is negative, we're going to turn that sucker around. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm going to have a great day, a better than average day because of the wind and the rain. And it has to happen. Just stay consistent, put emotion into it, and it has to happen. So that's a great one, Nick. Thank you so much for picking something so good.
Yeah, my pleasure. Well, I'm excited to share these last moments of information. Just as a reminder, this is PJ Mindset Coach presenting Manifesting the Law of Attraction. This is the Give a Fish, Teach to Fish, Delivering Hope, Paying It Forward, Self-Improvement and Personal Development, charitable community outreach initiative, founded, supported, and funded by DiNuzzo Private Wealth Incorporated. If you can, please book Papi to speak in person or virtually to your organization, not-for-profit group that needs to hear the universe's message of hope and inspiration. Just email us at support@pjmindsetcoach.com. Make sure you're signed up at pjmindsetcoach.com to receive Papi's free educational emails and get access to upcoming live events conducted by Papi to help you manifest the health, wealth, happiness, love, life, and success you desire. And as a reminder, we have created the Spanish version of the book. You can see the cover here on your screen for both the English and Spanish version, as well as we've created Spanish translations on the website and Spanish social media sites. So if you have connections to anyone in the Spanish or Latin community, we can certainly help. So PJ, we will.
Nick, I just got one last thing here. We got maybe 60 seconds, but I just want to say Nick did a great job on that. Here's what we're saying: free. It's all free. It's all free. My job is to get the word out. This is the largest and most well-kept secret for thousands of years. Only nobility or people at the very top of the, so to speak, food chain, socioeconomic food chain, knew and got to hear what we're talking about. I want you to succeed. I love every person on this call. You're all my fellow brothers and sisters. Help me to help you. I want you to succeed beyond your wildest dreams. I want to help your family members, your loved ones. I want you to help those in your community. Take a look and see who can you help. Book me to speak. Everything's free. It doesn't cost anything. This is about getting the word out. And I can't think of two better co-hosts, Sandy and Nick, both of you. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for you helping me to get the word out. All the tireless work that both of you do and how quality, the quality individuals you are, and Suzanne, who's our behind the scenes superstar. None of us three would look anywhere near as good as we do if it wasn't for Suzanne making this all to happen. So I love her as a fellow sister of mine as well. All my team members, I love every one of them as a fellow brother and sister. And again, I just want to thank everybody. Help us to help our fellow brothers and sisters in need out in our communities. If you find anyone who has a regular meeting and they've got room on there for a speaker, if it's 10 minutes, hey, I can put out a lot of positive in 10 minutes. So thank you so much. And until next time, we'll look forward to seeing you on our next webinar, on our next workshop webinar. Thank you so much.